Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
I was good until you opened your mouth.
Woohoo! I'm telling you, don't think for 1 minute that New England's not saying to themselves, oh, this is interesting. He asked for a trade before they franchised him. It is dead. It is over. As I said back in November, he will never play another day for the Baltimore Ravens. Tick-tock, tick-tock. And while the Jets wait for 90-year-old Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to play against Tua and the Tyreek Hill offense. Of course, Josh Allen and what they bring to the table. And Lamar Jackson as a Patriot. Da, 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 da. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees did announce that Anthony Volpe, let's get his last name right now, Volpe, not Volpe, Volpe. It's Anthony Volpe. Volpe. Matter of fact, Tommy calls dad, get him on the horn. It is Anthony Volpe is going to be the starting shortstop for the Yankees, and as of now, may or may not wear 77, which forever buried Clint Frazier in the annals of who's the loser that wore the number before it started. What's going on, Evan?
Yo, good for the Yankees, by the way. I'm happy for the Yankee fan because that was the obsession.
Yeah.
This entire spring training was, is this a real competition, and are we going to get to see Anthony Volpe on opening day? You got your wish.
Yeah.
But think about this. Where's the video of them sitting down a 23-year-old Oswald Peraza, who hit 300 last year after they called him up, and told him, hey, sorry, you're going to AAA. Sorry, you're going on the bus traveling from Scranton to other two-bit cities. Well, where's that video, by the way?
Why you wouldn't put that video out, Evan? That's a negative video. You only put out the good videos.
And my point is this. Look, Volpe deserved to make the team. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Yankee fans 100%. But you've got another kid who deserves to be in the major leagues. Oswald Peraza deserves to be in the major leagues. And I guess Brian Cashman's got 72 hours to do something about it. Even though they've optioned him down already, they could find a way to trade Glaber or Josh Donaldson, though I doubt it.
Well,
but
they're not going to trade Josh Donaldson after what I heard Aaron Boone say, that he is the breakout sleeper pick for this season.
That means nothing.
No,
okay?
He's the breakout sleeper pick. I think he meant for the Yankees.
Buck Showalter said you should see Darren Ruff hitting in the backfields, and then 2 days later, they DFA'd him.
Well, now, hold on. To be fair to my guy, Aaron Boone a year ago said his breakout pick for the year was Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
And Nestor Cortez had a great year.
Yeah,
Let's hope he's 2 for 2.
Here's why, to me, that's different. Nestor Cortez was really, really good at the end of 2021. He had earned a spot in the Yankee rotation. It's not like Nestor really came out of nowhere. Josh Donaldson having a bounce-back season would be a true bounce-back because he showed no signs of it last year. But Cortez, let's not pretend, Craig, that Cortez was some bum coming into last year. The guy pitched really well over the last few months and deserved to be in the rotation.
Yeah, listen, it's all fun right now. Everybody's in a good mood because Volpe is going to be the starting shortstop. I think they're batting him ninth. I think they came out and announced that a lot of people thought maybe he'd lead off, but they're going to bat him ninth, do a little 9-1 kind of scenario, which you've talked about in the past. It's like having another leadoff hitter at the bottom of the order, which a lot of teams do now, so that's not a knock at all in his offensive game. It's exactly what you've talked about in the past. It gives you speed at the bottom of the lineup, which then theoretically sets up that top of the lineup for more RBI opportunities for 2, 3, 4, and 5. But look, it's all good. The Yankees got one right, and not that they should be applauded for it. It was obvious. It was an easy decision. And my biggest concern, I'm sure you have now seen the video of when Brian Cashman's sitting in the room, and of course Aaron Boone tells Volpe that he's made the opening day roster. And I feel very strongly about what I'm about to say. It is time that Major League Baseball changes the rules and does not make managers wear the jersey pants. Aaron Boone's got no ass. And I have to text him about that. It's very concerning to me. It's just he's wearing baggy pants that happen to have lines down the side, and that's a problem for me.
I'm curious, when you text him, what are you going to say?
I'm going to say you have no ass. You got to wear smaller pants.
What is he supposed to do to kind of plump up the ass, though?
Just wear
like an
pants.
exercise?
Listen, I don't blame him because baseball pants, they're tight on you, and they're not comfortable just to sit around in all day. But, like either wear pants that fit or don't wear them.
I did realize by checking out that video that I have a bigger ass than Aaron Boone.
Oh, you could probably fill out. No, to be fair, when we played softball and you're this guy shows up to a random pickup softball game wearing baseball pants.
That's right.
You filled them out pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've got a plump behind.
Yeah, you got
I
a
really
good ass.
do.
Yeah, I always said that about you.
Thank you.
I was always
That
like,
mean-
you know what? My partner's got a nice ass.
That means I'm a good athlete. That's a sign of good
Well,
athleticism.
it's a sign
when
that you could be a good quarterback.
Yes.
But you're not. Like, you're thick in the wrong places. Like, if you're thick everywhere, it doesn't count as being thick in the trunk where they want you to be. But I will tell you this Lamar Jackson thing really has me. Not that I was surprised. I did say back in November, in my opinion, he's played his last game as a Baltimore Raven. It just didn't seem right the way they handled him not being available for the last couple regular season games. And then obviously the playoff game against Cincinnati. It just seemed like they allowed him to get beat up pretty good by the media and social media and didn't come to his defense. It felt like it was wrong. But now that we find out that he asked for a trade on March 2nd, now that's his obviously take on it. And they very quickly after him asking for a trade, franchised him, et cetera. What was interesting to me today is that Lamar Jackson had to have known that John Harbaugh was meeting the media. Had to. Mm-hmm. Because he put that bomb out there literally as Harbaugh was walking out to the microphones.
Right.
Harbaugh got blindsided by that today. To his credit, he handled it really well. And among the things he said was, when Lamar gets back on this train, it's moving full speed. We love him. Look, I'm sure the coach does because the coach knows his success is tied to whomever his quarterback is. Harbaugh's not stupid. That's why he made him his star quarterback, recognizing he was better than Joe Flacco 5 years ago, right? So to me, there's a disconnect with Baltimore, and now there's blood in the water. I don't think you recover from this unless, sure, give him $230 million fully guaranteed, and you'll pretend to be best friends. But I do think now that it's public, I think there will be teams that show an interest in Lamar Jackson.
But teams are afraid of giving him what he wants.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that yet.
Have we seen any interest? You're telling me it's the 2 first-round picks? I mean, what's changing things, I guess is my question. So Lamar Jackson demands a trade. He does it 3.5 weeks ago.
But we didn't know that.
Now it's public. Okay, but my question to you, though, Craig, is what does that change in terms of another team? If you're the Atlanta Falcons, what changes now? He still wants the same contract.
Yeah. I think the value of the contract just came down. That's what I think. I think if you're telling Baltimore, I am not playing for you, I want to trade, now Baltimore's got to pivot to, all right, we're going to get the 2 first-round picks for him. What's the best offer we're going to get? Because and here's what's interesting about it. When they made a calculated decision not to go full exclusive on the tag, they went the other one, right?
Yep.
$32 million instead of $45 million, and it changed the dynamic of what the compensation is going to be. Now, all they get, and I won't say all, I don't want to minimize it.
It's still a good return.
2 first-round draft picks, yeah. So, like, if you're the New York Jets,
no,
and I recognize that everything is pointed towards Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to cost 2 first-round draft picks, but I do think he's going to cost 1 and something else, and we could debate that till we're blue in the face. Neither one of us are right, neither one of us are wrong. But if I'm the New York Jets,
no,
and I don't pick up the phone,
no,
I'm doing myself a disservice.
Why?
Because I want Lamar Jackson.
Correct. They have, I watched Robert Saleh this morning. I was very excited about it. I was excited to see what my coach has to say.
Go ahead.
And he basically told the world what we already know. 12's our guy. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the New York Jets. Yeah. There's no panic button. There's no rush. He was speaking in hypotheticals. He said, look, if the offensive coordinator and the quarterback have a really good relationship, then not really a big deal when he shows up. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. He's not going to cost the Jets a fully guaranteed deal or close to a fully guaranteed deal. And like you said, he's not going to cost the same in draft capital. He's also, simply put, the guy that gives them the best chance to win. Like, in the short term, he gives them the best chance to win. He does. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that, listen, I understand the argument. I don't know that you win that argument.
Well, over the last 2 years, I do. What the heck has Lamar Jackson done?
What did Aaron Rodgers do last year?
Last year,
Played
yes.
every game and didn't make the playoffs.
Well, what would you rather
have?
have?
Week NFC.
Would you rather have a guy
By the way,
not play great but play every game?
Yes.
Or a guy that can't play in the postseason?
Obviously,
Which one would you rather have?
I'm going to keep this above board as much as I can today. I would certainly take the guy who's available for sure.
So let's go one by one. Last year, despite a down year from Aaron Rodgers, who had a better year?
Lamar Jackson. They made the
he
playoffs.
didn't. No, what?
I mean, they made the playoffs. Green Bay didn't, and it's harder to make the playoffs
Lamar
in the AFC.
Craig, Lamar didn't play.
Lamar's work in the first 10 weeks of the year set the stage for that team to back their asses into the postseason.
I agree, but
Thank you.
he didn't play.
He played enough to get them into the playoffs.
And the Ravens had a top 3 defense. Top 3.
No, they didn't. They had the worst
Yes,
fourth
they
quarter
did.
defense in football. What are we talking
Overall,
about?
they allowed the 3rd fewest points in the NFL. Now, you can mix and max and parse that however you want.
Yeah.
Those are the facts. That's what the Ravens did.
Are you wearing an FAN shirt?
I am.
Yeah. Excuse me.
What's
for the
wrong with
birthday.
that? You got a problem with my FAN shirt?
No, just nobody wears them. That works here. Like, I'm surprised. Like, don't you try to avoid letting people know who you are when you leave the house?
Yeah, I usually don't wear this shirt when I leave the house.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
have so
one
much
rule.
FAN gear that I'll never wear. That I just keep so that when I'm 90 years old, my great grandkids can go pop, 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 because you got to add the extra pop when you're great grandfather. Tell us the story about this shirt. Well, I was with Evan Roberts, and we had a saying: "There's winners and losers."
The very first time, Craig, I wore this shirt publicly, I was looking to buy a house, okay? Me and my wife at the time. Well, she's still my wife.
You have a new wife?
We were looking. No, I don't know what I meant. I was going to say my fiance at the time, but we were married. We were looking for a house. And I accidentally wore this FAN shirt, and all the guy could talk about was Don Imus. That's all he could talk about.
Sure.
And how he was not thrilled with the people that replaced him.
Thank you.
And I
appreciate
defended
that.
I defended the show. I said, "Sir, let me tell you about this Boomer Esiason and the other guy.
Yeah.
They're great. You should give them a chance." So that was my first ever experience wearing this shirt publicly.
Well, like I said, you shouldn't wear it because it invites people to converse with you about exactly that. And then you get, hey, what's Joe really like? Hey, is Big Mac really upset with you when you make fun of him? Does Tommy talk that way all the time? And on and on and on and on and on. By the way, we did have a little competition between Tommy Lugauer and Chris McMonagle a few weeks back.
Oh, don't do this.
Huh?
Don't do this.
Of course I'm going to do it. It's what we do.
You're a bad guy.
I'm going to do it because I have the numbers. And I was out for a week of vacation. And the guys each had a turn filling in. Now, maybe there was good things happening one day in sports, and the other day there was less going on. I don't know. Certainly possible. But there's a winner, and there's a loser. I will get to that much later today in our winners and losers segment here on The Fan, okay?
You know they're going to ask me privately now before you announce things.
Well, don't answer it privately. Tell them they got to wait to find out like everybody else.
You got to wait to
That's
find
all.
out, fellas.
Yeah, you have to wait to find out. Anyhow, the number to join us, 877-337-6666. You know, it's funny. The Yankees do what is expected of them, what's right. Anthony Volpe gets the opening day start. Obviously, the youngest guy since Jeter to start for the New York Yankees, which is awesome, that connection, of course. Then, of course, the pictures come out of Anthony Volpe as a kid getting Jeter's autograph. Like, it's a Disney story, man. It's Hallmark-type stuff. And now the kid's just got to play well. You know, he will get leeway, I think, with the fan base, provided that the Yankees aren't in the tank. And after finding out that we've lost another pitcher, the New York Yankees do not have the pitching staff that they thought they had a month ago going into the season. So, again, that has little impact on Volpe's performance, but it does have an impact on the amount of rope he gets if he gets out to a slow start.
Yeah, I think what's good about Volpe, though, watching him throughout spring training, is that he has such a good eye and he plays solid defense. And the reason I say that, Craig, is if he doesn't hit right out the gate, which he didn't do at the 2 previous minor league levels he was at, you can almost make up for it when you're playing really good defense at shortstop and you're in the middle of rallies because you're drawing a walk every single game and you're stealing a base here and there. So I think the combination of what you said, Craig, that people wanted him up here. He's a local kid. He's the reason the Yankees weren't going after elite shortstops over the last 2 years. We've heard about him for a long time, more than most other prospects. I think the combination of Yankee fans wanting him to be really good and that he can help the team, even if he's not producing at a high level, will also kind of give him a little leeway in the early going.
Yeah, listen, he's a good kid, and he says everything right. And that moment with Boone and Cashman obviously was awesome. You've seen a lot of teams put those videos out. It's never bad. It's always great to see. You hope that you always maintain that level of humble pie, and you don't become, one of those guys who makes $50 million a year, and it gets to you. But Jersey kid, it's just a great story through and through. And now we're going to find out, for all those trades the Yankees refused to make, that were going to include Volpe by request of whatever other team they were talking to. Now it comes to fruition, right? Now you're going to find out. Not at single A, not at double A, not at triple A. Now you find out in the Bronx why all those opportunities they had to acquire big-name guys at a trade deadline that a lot of fans thought would give them, the edge to maybe go out and win a World Series, why this guy was untouchable. Now you're going to see why. And now you just cross your fingers and hope that a good kid, by all accounts, plays his ass off and earns it.
It's also incredibly exciting when we get this every few years where the Yankees or Mets call up a prospect that we've heard a lot about, that we've followed by looking at their stats over the last year or two, and we get to watch that guy hopefully become a star right before our eyes.
Yep.
It's an exciting thing as a baseball fan, and it's so different, Craig, than the other sports. Because think about this. The Jets or Giants draft somebody, and then boom, they're playing. And that's it. Right. The Knicks or Nets draft a guy, and boom, they're playing. You get this a little bit in hockey. But in baseball, you hear about a guy for years. You hear about a guy. You read about a guy. You're curious about a guy. And then you finally get to watch him every single day. So it's one of those cool things about baseball. And to get to see him right from the get-go on opening day is also nice. And look, good job by the players and the owners, because one thing they agreed upon last year was this kind of bonus format, which encourages teams to have these kids make the major leagues. Because if he has a great year and let's say wins Rookie of the Year, the Yankees get an extra draft pick.
And he gets extra money too, right? Is that part of the deal?
Well,
is there a pool of money for the top umpteen players based on performance?
Yeah, that's also a way for these guys to earn some extra money. But the other thing is, if they would have waited a month to do service time manipulation and he was this good anyway, he would have had this full year count as it is. So basically, the new rules tell teams, call these kids up.
Yeah.
If they deserve to be here, have them here. And the one thing Anthony Volpe made very clear throughout spring training is that he won the job. Now, I feel bad for Peraza because he's the forgotten guy. He's a top 100 prospect. He came up last year and hit 300. He plays great defense at shortstop. You would think he has a future on this team. The question is, where? Because he's the loser in this whole thing. He starts the year in Scranton, and right now, barring injuries or trades or failures, where's his room at the major league level for a kid that I think proved he was ready for the major league level?
Listen, we got lots to do. Of course, NCAA tournament down to the Final Four. We'll get into that because Evan and I are on opposing sides of that conversation. And tons of Yankee stuff and Jet stuff. Look, the New York Jets, kind of the cock of the walk at these league meetings, but it's all based on acquiring one guy. And now there's another guy available. What do the Jets do? And more importantly, you're a diehard Jet fan. What do you want them to do? Then a little bit later on in the show, Brian Dable spoke glowingly about his quarterback that he just guaranteed $82 million to. And I listened to it, and I think he's lying. And we'll explain that to you a little bit later on in the show as well. We got lots to do. 877-337-6666. We also have Tiger Woods coming on later this week. Mike Trout stopping by a little bit later on this week as well, as they've got a new business venture right here in New Jersey that I'm excited to be a part of as well. And we will get into that with you throughout the afternoon. Ain't that right, Evan?
Yes. What day is Ohtani, by the way? I heard he's coming on as well. Did you know that?
It's funny. Ohtani said not till week 3.
Oh, is that what I thought it was this week.
Well, what's weird about it, to get Ohtani on, I had a promise to promote the Ben Verlander podcast.
Right.
And because it's not a property of ours, I got to go through some red tape on that. But we're working it out.
I can't wait to talk to Shohei.
We're working it out right now, and he'll be on at some point. And when I say I'm involved with Tiger and Mike Trout, I'm involved. All right, I'll just say that. You can ask me how I'm involved, I'll answer it. But someone would have to ask the question.
I also know that on that golf course, you will shoot a 71. That's the other thing I've heard.
If you want to, I'll just tell you now how I'm involved.
Hey, Craig, how are you involved?
Good question. I'm glad you asked. So it was announced today that Mike Trout and Tiger are doing a golf course project that Tiger's designing that Mike Trout is naming. I forgot the name of it already. I think it's called the Trout or something like that. In any event, they reached out to a number of Jersey residents who are scratch golfers. And what they wanted from us was, would you consider taking a look at the layout and walking the course with us so that we can understand the Jersey golfer better? And because I am now officially a scratch golfer, I was asked amongst many others, I'm not the only one, I think there's 10 of us in total who are going on 2 different tours of the property, and I will be helping them design the course.
Nice.
Based on my fantastic golf game. Like, that tree's a problem for me. Move the tree.
The
Stuff like
brand
that.
new Trout in the Woods golf course. Very good.
Something
Very
along,
good.
something along those lines. Yeah, that's what's going on. So if you're a golfer, now you know that my claims of being a great golfer are legitimate. I'm designing the golf course that Mike Trout's going to own with Tiger Woods. So there you go.